Hey guys, Rebel95, recording live from the Love County Prison Cell. I sound and feel like shit right now because, as you can see, I have some sunburn related sickness going on. But speaking of burned, today's matchup. No, I'm not like that. Um, but yeah, so this was the fight I had originally planned. I wasn't gonna do it right away. Because, like I said, I thought that everyone might think, oh, well, he's only doing that to promote the. This isn't DBX, alright? Do what the fuck I feel like. Um, but this was the fight that I had planned that I was gonna do. And then they happened to do Zuko versus Todoroki. So, I figure, oh, I'll just put that off. But you know what? 2 years from now, if I even give a shit about this channel, I'm gonna delete that Todoroki Zuko video, the prediction video, because I like to delete my prediction videos after a certain cutoff date in this 2 years, because there's really no point to them. Like it's just all the only thing they serve is to be like 5 years ago you said that 5 years ago you said the Gamera was gonna beat Godzilla. Like that's the only purpose that really serves. So I just delete them after a while. It's the only one the only one I ever really regretted deleting. Not the only one, but the one I most regretted deleting was the Kenshiro Jotaro one because so many people said like so many people tried to say like you're full of shit. There's no way like what you're saying is stupid. You're fucking blah blah. And then Death Battle goes and says the exact same thing. They're like, this fight is so one sided. Kenshiro can't see Star Platinum. You're, you know, you're fucking stupid saying that, or only a stand user can see a stand. Fuck it. And then, but yeah, that's besides the point. The fight I wanted to do instead of Zuko Todoroki, the fight I wanted to do was is the fight I'm gonna do now. It's Ozai, Fire Lord Ozai, and Endeavor. Now I think this one's actually. I mean, Zuko Todoroki has some merit to it, but I think this one's actually better for a couple of reasons. Um, it's the same power set. I know I don't. I say two characters having the same power isn't that's not like enough to merit a fight, especially because there's so many people with the same powers that you can put in the same fight. But by that same token, it makes even less sense to put like Zuko versus Todoroki in that case. There's other reasons to do it, but in that case because they don't even have the same power. They have Todoroki has one of Zuko's, or Zuko has one of Todoroki's powers. But anyway, yeah. So I don't know. I just think this is. I'd rather focus on the. I'd rather focus on the dads in this fight simply because Endeavor actually like became better and like Ozai is a much worse father than Endeavor is, but or even when Endeavor was bad, Ozai is a worse father than Endeavor. But like Endeavor eventually tries to become better. So like Ozai would kind of remind Endeavor of what used to be. Now, like I said, on Endeavor's worst day, he's nowhere near as bad as, you know, 9 to 5 Ozai. But yeah, but that doesn't bear on the fight at all. It's just a cool little emotional aspect you can put into it. Um, so in this fight, and I didn't bring this up in Death Battle because, well, it's not really super. I don't think it's super relevant because you could bring it up in any Avatar fight, kind of. But that's Sozin's Comet. Now, for those of you who don't know, Sozin's Comet's a comet that appears every 100 years, and I believe it's 1 day. It's like 1 day, or is it 3 days, or it's for a short amount of time. The power of a firebender is exponentially increased. It like a huge magnification of their powers. Not to the point where they're like destroying countries unless you're someone like Ozai. In the case of Zuko, like, yeah, he got super, super strong, but, he was, like, in the Azula fight, he was, like, so basically I didn't bring it up with Zuko because I didn't, Zuko, because, when Sozin Comet, so the reason Sozin's Comet was a plot point was because it was going to make Ozai near unstoppable, not because it was going to make Zuko unstoppable. Or because it was going to make, like, Zuko, yeah, he got stronger from it, but it didn't, like, accomplish anything, really. Like, it didn't matter that Zuko was stronger. So, like, you could have brought it up with Aang, and he technically would have gotten stronger because, he firebends. So, like, sorry, I got a notification there. But in this case, I think it's actually relevant. Not just because, like, Ozai is the character that the comic was essentially created for, but also because this fight is very one-sided, in a way that Todoroki versus Zuko wasn't, and I think Ozai could use all the help he could get. They'll probably give the comet to Zuko and say, even with Sozin's comet, it gets destroyed. But let's go over this. So, yeah, Ozai being the Fire Lord, he ends up being the, he is the premier and strongest firebender in the Fire Nation. He ends up giving Zuko his scars, or his one scar. He ends up, banishing his wife, raised Azula, and the apple did not fall very far from the tree in that case. Yeah, and he is just this elite firebender. Yeah, I believe he mastered lightning bending as well, and he, I, I don't know if he uses the blue flame. I think he can, but like Azula uses the blue flame, whereas he uses I think he just uses regular fire, but in his fight with Aang, he was able to, like, burn through rock, and he's able to do a lot of the things that Zuko and Azula have been able to do, like fly using the... Yeah, this is kind of the problem with putting characters like this, is that when you choose one of them to put in, the rest of them kind of doesn't really matter. It's like, I'm not going to put Bolin in a fucking death battle, even though, we can lava bend. Well, yeah, but, like, Bolin's an earthbender, isn't he? Fuck it, whatever. I don't care. Like, Aang is in the fight. Zuko's gonna be in a death battle. How many other firebenders do we need? Because it's like, how different are they at that point? Zuko is just gonna be less Aang, and Azula is just gonna be slightly better Zuko, and still worse than Aang. Like, so, whatever. But, and then Ozai is gonna be Aang level Zuko. So, yeah, that's the problem with putting characters that are this similar. Like, the character isn't similar, but with this similar of abilities, because it's like, what's the. It's like a clone character in a fighting game. Like, okay, how different really is it? Um, but yeah, so going on to Endeavor then. Endeavor is very different from Todoroki, actually, because not only um, does he not have the ice abilities that Todoroki has, but he has abilities involving his fire that Todoroki doesn't, or at least doesn't yet have. And he's actually utilized these abilities in completely different ways, like, they do in Avatar. He can shoot fire from his limbs or even his back, to propel himself forward and create, like a rocket kind of thrusting. Though this flame, he does have to keep like feeding this flame in order to carry it out. And like Todoroki, the disadvantage that Todoroki has, Endeavor shares, that if he keeps using his fire, his body will overheat. And that was the explanation they gave for why he like destroyed his own family. But it's whatever. Never liked that much. But yeah, and he can like turn the fire into like strings and whips and shit to like slice through things. He can make his feet like so hot that he can like melt through buildings and use it to like climb buildings. Um, he's used like blue flame to completely incinerate like flesh before. In the case of Anomu, yeah, and he's even been hot enough to destroy Nomu, who were able to regenerate. And this was an upgraded Nomu to the one that All Might fought. And he used the Prominence Burst attack in that case, which is just like a giant like sky level explosion. Yeah, so I don't think it's any secret. By the way, I've been explaining this. I've been kind of lax in my explanation here, but I don't think it's any secret that I think Endeavor's gonna win here. All right, and before anyone's like, "Oh, well, he picked Todoroki in the Zuko fight, and he picked Endeavor in this fight," so of course he thinks, okay, My Hero Academia characters are just stronger than Avatar. I'm not saying that. If I had ever, at any point, put like Stain versus Amon, write that down. Fuck. That might not be the case, right? It's just that these two, coincidentally, and the characters similar to them, happen to outmatch. The My Hero characters happen to outmatch the Avatar characters. I'm sure if I wanted to find a matchup where an Avatar character beats a My Hero character, I could do it. But yeah, in this case, I do think Endeavor is going to beat Ozai. I do have another My Hero matchup in mind, and I think I had another Avatar matchup in mind. I'm not gonna make like a series or anything from this, like a month out of this, because it's a new death battle every week, so there'd be zero point in doing that. But I just wanted to get this one out of the way while I had a little bit of time. Anyway, Verbal Engine 95, see ya.